music plays, we invite you to close your eyes, just relax, rest in the presence, and hold space.
Ganganapataye namo namah. Ganganapataye namo namah. Ganganapataye namo namah. Jai Gananata Dayaniti Sakala Vignakara Dura Hamari. Jai Ganesha Gananata Dayaniti Sakala Vignakara Dura Hamari. Ganganapataye namo namah. 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 Om Ekadantaya Vidmahi Vakrajandaya Dhimahi Tanno Danti Prachodayat. Ganganapataye namo namah. 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 Jai Ganesha Gananata Dayaniti Sakala Vignakara Dura Hamari. Jai Ganesha Gananata Dayaniti Sakala Vignakara Dura Hamari. Ganganapataye namo namah. Ganganapataye Namo Namaha. Ganganapataye Namo Namaha. Ganganapataye Namo Namaha. Jai Ganesha Gananatha Dayaniti Sakala Vigna Karadura Hamari. Jai Ganesha Gananatha Dayaniti Sakala Vigna Karadura Hamari. Ganganapataye Namo Namaha. 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 Suklam Bharadram Vishnu Sasivarnam Chaturvujam Prasannavadaram Dhyaye Sarvavignyopashantaye. Ganganapataye Namo Namaha. Ganganapataye Namo Namaha. Ganganapataye Namo Namaha. Ganganapataye Namo Namaha. Ganganapataye Namo Jai Ganesha Gananatha Dayaniti Sakala Vigna Karadura Hamari. Jai Ganesha Gananatha Dayaniti Sakala Vigna Karadura Hamari. Ganganapataye Namo Namaha. Ganganapataye Namo Namaha. Ganganapataye Namo Namaha. Ganganapataye
Namaste. Welcome to our weekly online Satsang. Satsang being a Sanskrit word that means community of truth. Wherever a community, two or more people join together who are on the path of awakening, divine union, expansion of consciousness, you've got a Satsang. And we multiply one another's strength, our pool of interior silence that each one of us brings to the Satsang is pooled together and multiplied by joining with others. So we're so glad you're here. Spiritual community is an essential part of the journey of awakening and transformation. So by all means, try to find a group near you that you could meet with in person. Share hugs, share blessings, hands-on blessings, and share the journey together. You'd find that you probably have more in common with those people who are on the path of awakening than members of your own temple or church or sanctuary, because these are the ones who, like you and me, are experiencing the awakening and the transformation. So, and if you can't find one, start one. We have a video on our website. It's an initiation into the Flowering Heart Blessing, which we're sharing right now. The Flowering Heart Blessing, Hridaya, Vikasa, Diksha, that's Sanskrit for Flowering Heart Blessing, is a direct transmission of divine presence, enlightened awareness, love, grace, and it comes directly from the divine. We just serve as instruments. The receiver of the Flowering Heart Blessing experiences the catalyzing of the awakening process within them. If you're already awakening, it hastens the journey, it melts blocks, it smooths things out for you somewhat. And if you're already an awakened being, congratulations. It's not a destination though. And the Flowering Heart Blessing will take you deeper and deeper and deeper and into more and more expansion into oneness with all that is. So, there's a 36-minute initiation video. You don't need that. In fact, receiving one of these blessings, you're fully initiated to give it, and you're soaking in it right now. But if you want to introduce it to other people and you don't necessarily feel the confidence for doing that, you can just hit the play button on that video player on our website or download the video and play it on your own laptop or computer. 36 minutes later, you and another friend or group of friends are fully initiated blessing givers and ready to go. So we encourage you to do that, and we offer that video. It's just yours to do what you want to with. I mean, as long as it's... I shouldn't say that these days, should I? Okay. But there you have it.
No editing or remixing.
Yeah, don't make us say nasty things. But yeah, and we're sharing that blessing throughout this webcast. And as I said, we're all soaking in it right now. So invite the Divine Presence right now to pour the Flowering Heart Blessing through you to all the others viewing this satsang with us tonight, and anyone that will ever view the video or the audio, hear the audio at any time in the future. The blessing is pure spirit. Energy even takes time to move through space and time, but spirit is everywhere simultaneously, here, now, fully present. So if someone hits play on this 20 years after we do it, they will experience the same presence, the same blessing that we do here tonight. So please invite the divine to pour through you, not only for those that are with us, but we'll hold the intention together that everyone who watches it over the next weeks, months, years ahead will experience the same thing that we are. And they will. We need as many people to awaken as quickly as possible, because humanity, well, needs a lot of help. And we're facing many, many crises. We need to shift from ego, divisive, dual consciousness of separation. I'm separate from you. I don't trust you. I need to protect myself from you. into oneness, where we look into each other's eyes and we see ourselves looking back. We need to dismantle the culture of competition, conflict, and violence and build a new earth rooted in cooperation, harmony, and peace that can only be done from the heart. A people and a collective consciousness that has really shifted. Humanity's been trying to do it for thousands of years through philosophy, through religion, through political movements, and none of it has succeeded in changing the core problem that stands in the way, and that's us. That's that consciousness of separation and division, which is an illusion created by the mind, and awakening is the dissolving of that illusion and the awakening to the way things really are, which is we're all one. We're all connected with each other, with the divine source, and with all that is. So glad you're here participating and you're consenting to the journey of awakening in your own life. It makes a difference. One person's choice to consent to transformation ripples out into the collective. And when enough of us have made the shift, the collective consciousness of humanity is going to shift. Indeed. So somebody, I have been mentioning that February 1st and 2nd, we're having the first live workshop here at Flowering Heart in about a year and a half. We call it the Diamond Heart Quantum Liberation Process. It's a 2-day intense spiritual immersion in the deepest processes and insights that we've gleaned over the last decades, and in a very concentrated dose, transmitting to you as much light as is possible, and in a way we can only do it if you're physically here with us. I know someone texted me or left a comment, Jennifer, that you had planned to gift yourself with this workshop. Thing is, for the first time in your life, you've been called to jury duty. Well, I'm not exactly sure where you are, but in most places, and I know if I have a reason, I can request to be released from the date that they've chosen, and they'll assign another date later on. But check into it, because you can often change or get a new date to serve on a jury.
Tell them you're going to be traveling, or you're taking care of somebody, or there's a lot of different, you just have to read the fine print.
If you're me, I always tell the judges, I'm an ordained minister and I can't pass judgment.
But that doesn't keep you from having to go to jury duty.
No, you still got to go and show up, and then they say, okay, get out of here. All right. And Tristan, I see you have a question, and we'll come back to that, but I want to address the one that you had texted to me. I think it was a text, that when is the time of our Sunday services? They are at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. on the last Sunday of each month. So the next one is going to be to the 29th, I think, of this month.
It'd be sooner than that.
That would be the last Sunday.
The workshop
oh, you're right, it's the 26th.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Exactly. I knew that. It'll be the 26th of January.
And if you're not on our email list, Michael doesn't spam people. He sends out an email every Monday with our offerings for the week and the link to the webcast on Monday nights. And then if there's any other up-and-coming things like the Sunday service, and he sends out one more email reminder on Saturday with a link to it for the Sunday communion.
Yeah, we'd love to have you on our newsletter list, because then you'll know the times and the places, and you can join us more easily. If you're on Facebook Live, please give us a like or a love, a thumbs up or a heart, or whichever emoji fits you best. If you're watching on Vimeo, you need to enter into the chat. Hi, it's me. I'm here. And we go in and look at the names of the people who show up, and who show up between now and next Monday, because many times more people, I mean, a lot more times people, join us in the off hour between tonight and next Monday night. And we've had a really great group going.
Oh, and to sign up for our email list, you can go to floweringheart.org and go to the bottom of the homepage, and there's a little button that says subscribe to our email or our newsletter.
Mm-hmm. So I see questions are starting to come, but I'll give you a few more minutes to think about any questions you might want to ask, which is really the next part of our satsang. And I like to share these little articles from inspiringquotes.com, group of authors who write timely little articles of a couple paragraphs and a list of quotes from inspired people. And this one is leaving your comfort zone, which most of us, I think, have already done that many times. 13 quotes for when you need a little push. And this is by the same author that we quoted last week, Paula Bennett. Paula Bennett is a writer based in Brooklyn, New York. She writes a fortnightly newsletter that treasures the mundane, called Small Histories. You can find her on Instagram at Paula Bennett, Paula Bennet. Thank you, Paula. We've really been enjoying your input. Here's what she writes. As human beings, most of us crave stability, the habits of the everyday. But there's a good, well, let me back up. As human beings, most of us crave stability, the habits of the everyday. There's a good reason, a good evolutionary reason for this. For millions of years, unpredictability and uncertainty were tantamount to danger. There are plenty of benefits to having a routine. It lowers our stress levels and is a building block of good health. The comfort zone exists for a reason, to keep us comfortable. Still, there's such a thing as getting too comfortable. While we may feel safer in a routine, a fear of the unknown can also cause us to live life on autopilot. Too much stability has been scientifically linked to a lack of growth or learning in our lives. As the old adage goes, old ways won't open new doors. Staying in your comfort zone can restrict you, cutting you off from new experiences or from taking a leap toward what you really want. Maybe you're aware it's time to step out of your comfort zone, but you don't know quite where to start. Old habits die hard, after all. These 13 quotes can help give you that gentle nudge out of the proverbial door and into exciting new territory. So here we go. Go and make interesting mistakes. Make amazing mistakes. Make glorious and fantastic mistakes. Break rules. Leave the world more interesting for your being here. Neil Gaiman. Without experimentation, a willingness to ask questions and try new things, we shall surely become static, repetitive, and moribund. Anthony Bourdain.
That's funny.
Sometimes the bravest and most important thing you can do is just show up. Brené Brown. If you want to conquer fear, do not sit home and think about it. Go out and get busy. Dale Carnegie. People make their best work when they're riding that wave and a little bit uncomfortable. Sell your own myth, but never buy it. St. Vincent. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. Lao Tzu. Great people do things before they're ready. Amy Poehler. Don't fear failure so much that you refuse to try new things. The saddest summary of a life contains 3 descriptions. Could have, might have, should have. Louis E. Boone. Sometimes the place you are used to is not the place you belong. William Wheeler. And the thing about blooming is, nothing about the process is easy. It requires every part of you to stretch upward, with your roots firmly planted in the ground. And in the sun, and in the rain and wind, you stand anyway, even against the pull of the soil. And through it all, one day, you will see all along you were transforming. Morgan Harper Nichols. Comfort can be dangerous. Comfort provides a floor, but also a ceiling. Trevor Noah. A bird is safe in its nest, but that is not what its wings are made for. Amit Ray. We delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the changes it has gone through to achieve that beauty. Maya Angelou.
Lovely.
How true it is. Okay, so first question tonight. Well, yeah. And hello, Mike Davis. Tristan writes, my first question is there seems to be a lot of TikTok and Facebook clip videos of some strange theories of enlightenment, UFOs, Jesus' return, and fear of the devil. How can I discern? Sometimes I feel like people are manifesting these things by collectively watching these movies. The more we talk about the battle between shadow and light, the more that battle exists in consciousness. What is the true path of enlightenment when we see these theory rabbit hole clips? Well, those may be 2 different things, but first of all, disengage from these theory rabbit hole clips. I mean, you pretty much said it at the beginning. You get it. How do I discern? And you talked about fear and just strange theories that are unsettling, and that maybe people are actually manifesting these things by thinking about them so much and
Feeling too. When the fear gets involved, it helps to, whatever you feel strongly.
I mean, we're going to talk about the quantum field and touch on quantum physics a little bit in the Diamond Heart workshop. But there is a field called the quantum field, and in it, all things are possible and all possibilities exist. By taking a thought or a feeling or a perspective, the quantum field collapses into manifestation around that thought, that feeling, that idea. So what we call reality is not a fixed thing. It can be dissolved in the same way that it was manifested out of the quantum field. That said, some things are just true. I mean, in my humble opinion, Jesus is real. And all these theories about the lost years in India, and they actually hid his body away and he didn't die, and some, I mean, I don't think that's helpful. Christ is a living being, and the Christ that Christians believe incarnated through Jesus of Nazareth is an aspect of God. It's the spark of the divine at the heart of everything in creation. In India, they might refer to it as the Paramatma, the God within. But that spark of divinity within everything, not just human beings, everything in the universe is pure love, pure mercy, and healing, and it holds the blueprint of transformation and spiritual evolution. Very important thing. So I don't get caught up in the mindy stuff that's going to get between me and the heart-to-heart connection with the light of spiritual evolution and transformation that is resonant within me and is blossoming and expanding. All that mind stuff gets in the way. The brother of Jesus, St. James, in his epistle said, the wisdom that's from above is pure and peaceful and easy to be entreated. None of these clips on social media you're talking about conspiracies and odd theories, they don't feel pure and peaceful and easy to entreat in the heart. And James goes on to say that if there's strife in the mind, if what you're hearing is producing a struggle, a conflict in your mind, this is not the wisdom from above. He said it's earthly, sensual, and demonic. That was straight up and right from Bible days, okay? So that's one of the ways that we discern. Is it peaceful and clear and luminous in the heart? Or is it creating this tossing to and fro, this conflict in the mind and struggle with what's real and what isn't? Want to add anything to that?
Oh, I used to love watching stuff like that. Michael would go to India for, weeks or a month or two at a time, and I would sit there and get on YouTube and go down the rabbit hole, and had some really fun ones about babies and infants being able to fly in Russia and videos of them. I mean, I just dove down all of these rabbit holes. And I came to a point where I realized we've been so programmed for sensationalism and crisis and fear. And if you just, don't even watch the news, if you just listen to it, like if it's on and you close your eyes, you can hear the subtle tones in their voices pushing us for an emotional reaction, because that gets us hooked. The mind wants that excitement and that crisis and that fear and that drama. And at some point, I just had to step away from all of it. And like Michael said, is this, if I would hear some information, if it threw me off at all or made me confused or upset or instantly going into fear, or what if this happens or what if that happens, I would have to just, it's like working a new muscle at the gym that you've never worked before, but developing that spiritual muscle of listening to your heart and going within and asking what is the truth, asking your higher self, asking the divine presence, what is the truth for me? And is this bringing me peace? Is this, does this feel right? Does this feel like universal truth? Because honestly, war, violence, chaos, conflict is not universal truth. Love is the universal truth. So the more that we can keep returning to that and returning, Michael's always pointing out, if your eye is single, you will be filled with light. And that's, I think, where we're trying to go on enlightenment. We want to be more filled with light, and we want to be more connected in divine source and divine union. And to get there, we have to just tell the mind gently, this isn't for me right now. Thank you for presenting that. And just keep returning to the heart and keep asking for grace.
Of course, on this path, there is a battle, a struggle between shadow and light. And focusing on that, on the conflict between good and evil, light and dark, does reinforce it in the mind. And a lot of that division is created in the mind, but make no mistake, there is a conflict in the spirit world between shadow forces and beings of light that are bringing us into enlightenment. But to focus on it isn't helpful. To focus on the light is helpful. When I walk, I often use this example because it's so simple. When we come home at night and I walk into our meditation room, it's dark. The meditation room, oh no, is filled with darkness. So what do? I light my sage, I pull out the divine name, I start rebuking and binding the darkness, and no, I don't. I reach over right by the door and I hit the light switch. Darkness is just the absence of light. It's light being somehow eclipsed. And the way to get rid of it is turn on the light. So the way to really prepare yourself for discernment of, is this from shadow or from light? How do I overcome shadow? Focus on the light. Become a friend of the light. Become intimate with the light, and you'll know instantly when a shadow drifts between you and the light. And then what do? Keep your eye on the light. And so, thanks for the question.
Yeah, great question.
So, Ekaterina writes, as an actress, I'm asked to post in social media, but I don't find it very spiritual. How can I focus on God and also take care of these mundane endeavors? Well, you kind of just said it. You stay focused on God and you take care of these mundane endeavors, and you bring God into everything you do. I mean, we're using social media right now. We've found a way to use social media in a way that brings people together and transmits light and life. I understand as an actress, you're in a much more difficult position than we are as ordained ministers in using social media. But you can certainly transmit in a gentle way, in a non-offensive way that doesn't create resistance in people because you're sounding religious like you're trying. You can share your light because you are light, Ekaterina. You're such a bright being just by showing up. So you can share in very pure and innocent ways, actually. And sometimes you can just take on the injustice head on. Social media is often a way you can do that. We don't like to do that with our social media because we want everyone to feel welcome, not like we're taking a side and preaching some opinion. But you can do it.
There's always subtle ways to say things. Obviously as an actress, you know that. Like I was saying with the news, if we say things with emphasis and a little tone of anger, a little edge of fear, yeah, we're going to get more attention for it, but does it resonate in people's hearts? I mean, it does resonate in their minds, but there's always a way to... I got in an argument with somebody about 30 years ago, and I remembered saying, look, you're talking to me this way, and there's many ways to say the sky is blue. You can say, the sky is blue. You can say, the sky is blue, on and on and on. The sky is blue. There's so many different...
I've got the blues.
But there's so many ways to say just such a simple sentence, and if we can, come from our hearts while we're saying it, we may be saying something, to get people's attention and to sensationalize the movie you're working in or the role that you're playing. But there's always a way to say it with that little sing-song of heart that's going to bypass the mind.
So Christ said, you actually are not of this world. Just like I'm not, he said. But I am not praying that you be taken out of the world, but that you can be in the world and shine your light and be protected. That's what Christ wanted. And so we do that. Some of us would like to exit the mundane world and live in the light, but we're here for a reason. And Christ said, I'm not praying that you leave the world. Peter said to him, well, what do you think about paying taxes to the evil system? It was very simple. He said, render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's and to God the things that are God's. I mean, we have one foot in this world and one foot in the kingdom of light. And somehow we managed to do that with grace, a lot of grace. John Lewis writes, about 8 years ago, in deep meditation, I met my ex who had passed away a few years earlier. She had very large, bright green eyes. I don't recall what was discussed, but she was fine and eventually had to go back. My understanding is that the color green in the Bible means eternal. Well, often green is related to healing and growth, sort of like the eternal life, the eternally green sprig evergreens are, So I don't know of a scripture that correlates green in the Bible to eternity, but it's often used in mystical culture. I could go on, but there you have it.
Beautiful experience. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tristan says, in Taoism, do they acknowledge angels and Holy Spirit? Not by that name. No, but certainly that there are, they usually refer to, there's a recognition that there are celestial beings and that there is spirit, and there's reference to Yuan, which is Shen. Yuan Shen would be heavenly spirit. So there is a recognition of that, and a recognition of beings who have become so deeply immersed in union. Sometimes they call them immortals. Jesus might say they have eternal life. But sometimes in Taoist culture they call them gods. I would refrain from that. Although we just taught a sermon right from the Bible where God says, you are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. So basically we find that most traditions acknowledge the existence of divine beings, of divine spirit, of demons in some form, of dark entities that operate in the astral and celestial realms. And they have different understandings of that. In Islam, the jinn, genies aren't cool, as it turns out. But so, yes. And Tristan continues, can we inherit spiritual gifts from ancestors that skip generations? Is it possible we are the only person in our ancestral lineage that believes enlightenment? Sorry about these layered questions. Well, that idea that there are certain spiritual gifts that skip a generation, that's often an understanding in various forms of witchcraft. And psychic gifts in particular that run through family lines. We're all human beings are endowed with tremendous psychic abilities that are dormant. And so all that's in our DNA. In some family lines, some of these aspects of DNA are more active, and they do seem to manifest through the family tree. But genuine spiritual gifts come directly from God.
Right. Okay. Oh no, it's just I think that there is some truth to that, but I think also what Michael said, it's like we all have that ability. It's just how have our lives taken twists and turns? Have we had a moment or time or peace to, pray or meditate or let these gifts come online naturally in connection with the divine presence? Or have our lives been super, super busy, and that generation that was skipped was had a family and 9 children, and they just didn't have the time to sit back and reflect. Everything was just, got to take care of things.
But you especially often hear this about the wise women, the old women who have special spiritual understanding and knowledge, and that gift of seeing. And you see this in the Druid and other, and Wiccan and other traditions, so that it, in some storylines, it often skips a generation. Those aren't the gifts I'm after. My ancestors did an okay job. I'm here. We're here. We're very grateful. We love them. What we're seeking is transformation and union with the divine. And we're seeking to help our ancestors by doing that. And no, it is not possible that you're the only person in your ancestral lineage that believes in enlightenment.
Right.
Sometimes people just don't know what it is yet in our journey toward the light. And Robert Reister writes, "We have made a few quantum leaps in our lives, my brother." Rob is like my oldest best friend. We grew up together, knowing each other since we were like knee-high to a grasshopper, you know, younger than 5 years old, and our dads were best friends. And so yes, we have been through some amazing shifts, and we're still here talking about it. And then Tristan writes, "Michael, last question for fun. Have you ever dressed up as Santa and handed out gifts to the kids? Laughing out loud, if not opportunity, wasted laughing out loud."
I threaten every year to get him a Santa suit, and oftentimes
I have a hat.
You have a hat.
This year.
It was lost this year, but oftentimes when we take our walks on the beach, Michael wears it on the beach, and it's funny, the kids don't really notice. I mean, it's like Christmas Eve, and the kids don't even, they do notice, but it's more the adults. The adults are yelling, "Hey Santa, hey Santa," and
I really haven't been that bad this year.
yeah, but then the rest of the year, children see Michael out and about, and their eyes get really big, like, "Did I just see Santa?" It's really cute. Yeah. So if anybody has a extra large Santa suit that they want to donate, I will make sure that it gets into the right hands.
I used to have the right amount of fatness.
You did.
And my beard was much fuller and longer. And even I let it grow down to my belly. You know, I had people were calling me ZZ Top and Gandalf. And I spent a winter in Montana, honestly. And it gets very, very cold in Montana. And every time I went to zip my jackets, this long beard was like getting in the zip. I finally just, to heck with that. And I got a pair of scissors and cut it off. And I've been keeping it much shorter since.
Yeah.
But
fun question.
yeah.
Yeah.
It is fun. It is fun.
Every year, like, we gotta.
Yeah, and I had a Santa this year, like, wave at me and go,
Yeah, really? Was that at the mall?
yeah,
When we were
the mall,
walking?
yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. Okay. Well, those were some fine questions.
He was
Thank
probably
you.
like, "I could use some backup. This is tiring."
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Great question.
What a gig,
Thank
though.
you.
We actually met the Kodak Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Now, if you're older, we grew up with this character that Kodak had in all their commercials and their advertising at Christmas every year. And he had gold spectacles, the perfect beard.
soft, wavy beard.
And so we grew up with this guy. So when Suzanne and I were going through a toll booth outside of Miami,
Yeah, we were headed to the Keys with the kids for spring break.
anyway, here's this guy collecting tolls outside of Miami, wearing a Hawaiian shirt. Other than that, the gold spectacles, the hair, the beard, and I still have the long white, and I'm staring at him, he's staring at me, he said, "Yes, I am." He said, "I actually only need to work a few weeks a year," and that was great money then. He was making over $100,000 for 2 or 3 weeks a year. He said, "But it's boring." So
like to be around people.
So I work this toll booth, and the fun I get to have with people that drive through and look at me and just realize who I am. It was really the guy.
It was a magical toll booth.
And Katrina went, "He could be, but because of his beautiful soul and high vibration." Well, you know, Santa's got a pretty big soul and high vibration.
Yeah.
In spite of what Hollywood and movies and it's done with it. Saint Nicholas was a real deal and a real saint. But that's another story for another time. Close your eyes.
Something just came in.
Rob Reister wrote, "I love and appreciate the Q&A segment." Okay, here we dive into the woo-woo, Rob.
Okay.
Deep into the woo-woo we go. If everyone would close your eyes and just invoke the divine presence which lives within you at the center of your being. The great Sufi mystic, Rumi, said, "You are not just a drop of the divine ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. The fullness of the Godhead, by some mystery that's inexplicable and the mind cannot comprehend. The fullness of the Godhead, the divine source, is resident within you. And it is all-powerful, all-knowing, and all pure, unconditional love. It yearns to embrace you and draw you into the center of the celestial sun. There's a gravitational pull drawing all of us back into full oneness with the divine source. It's like the gravity in the solar system. If you just break free from the gravity of the earth, you're drawn right into the sun. And in the spirit, if we just let go and consent to the divine presence, divine love draws us into oneness with the source of all that is. It loves you unconditionally. There is no separation between you and God. That was a religious invention of the mind. In God we live and move and have our being. Nothing exists outside of the divine presence. It is the ground of being. Just let go. Consent to the attraction of the divine. Let it illuminate you. Dissolve the veil of the mind, the veil of duality, division and separation, fear and darkness, and draw you into the light. This presence is all-powerful and able to give you what you need. It knows your needs before you do. So right now, just let go and yield and receive. Drink it in. Soak it up. Breathe in the divine presence that is flooding you from within, from above, from below, from all around you. Grace and light and life is pouring out to you. Just receive it. It will clear and heal your soul, the mind and the emotions and the programming that makes us miserable. It'll wash that away and replace it with divinely inspired thoughts and feelings and plans. If we just relax, it will shine out from our hearts and flood our physical bodies with healing. Let it dissolve the dis-ease, the pain, the burden you carry in your flesh. Be healed. If you just relax, it will shine into your relationships and set them right. Bring them healing. Fill them with love and truth. And you will be a lighthouse in the world. Not because of what you do, but because you yield to the light that is shining out of the center of your being through every layer of your life, out of you into the world, rippling out through humanity to infinity. Imagine, visualize us sitting in a circle with our eyes closed, a blessing circle, and lift up your hands with your palms open and let us invite the Divine Presence to pour through each and every one of us the flowering heart blessing to all the others in the circle as it's flowing back to us through them. Picture the translucent and beautiful planet Earth in the middle of our circle, covered with 8 billion some little dots of light that are the hearts of humanity. And let us implore, invite the Divine to pour the light through us to all those 8 billion hearts, to melt the fear, the anger, the pain, to fill every heart with love and the peace of God that passes all understanding. See those hearts, those sparks of light shining brighter and brighter, blanketing the earth with light, like the waters cover the sea. Now you can relax your hands in your lap somewhere. And when you're ready, open your eyes and begin to make direct eye contact with Suzanne and or me as we dive into the light meditation. Suzanne and I are filled with oceans of light, life, love, grace. It pours through every fiber of our being to you right now, especially through our eyes, the windows of the soul. There's nothing for you to do, nothing to ask, nothing to struggle for. Just keep making eye contact and receive the light that streams out of our eyes, in through your eyes, into your heart of hearts, causing the light of awakening and the fires of divine love to shine brighter and brighter and brighter within you. Close your eyes now. Meditate with us a little longer as the grace we've received settles within. Now keep meditating as long as it feels nice to you, or lie down nearby in Shavasana. Shavasana is a yoga pose where you just lie on your back comfortably with your eyes closed, your arms loosely at your sides with your palms open, turned upward, and just lie in the presence with gratitude and dissolve. It's lovely, really.
Much love, light, and blessings.
Know until we meet again, the divine in us beholds the divine in you. And we bow to you. Namaste.